The funny thing about having kids is that there's no such thing as gray area. It's black and white. What is everybody doing once the baby comes? Stay tuned as we discuss episode 3 of Harlem. All right, welcome back to another episode of Clear Hair. We are discussing Harlem. They're only releasing 2 episodes at a time. So here I am again as I come to you. I'll be discussing episode 4 tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to spend 5 minutes just talking about what's going on with each character. And then I want to thank you guys so much. We are so close. We're getting closer every day to watch time. Thank you guys for watching my videos all the way through. I noticed that people are starting to watch past the 3-minute mark, which makes me happy because it's so hard to do it. Thank you guys so much for bringing my shorts channel to a whopping 80 subscribers, 30,000 views. Thank you guys so much. So let's talk about Camille. So Camille and Ian, that's lost time because, you know, they only give us 2 episodes at a time. So basically on the last episode, Ian and Camille, Ian decided to stay with Portia, who is his childhood friend, and they're getting serious. And then Camille ended up saying, okay, well, I'm going to keep the baby, blah, blah, right? So she goes in to see like genetic testing, which like I'm so glad they do, because I feel like a lot of times we keep forgetting that a lot of issues that happen with children are preventable, okay, or at least detectable. So she goes in for the testing, and, you know, since she's not working like a current job, basically there's like that's gonna be $1,600 outside of sorry, the healthcare system, outside of you not having with you not having health insurance, it's gonna be $1,600 total. I was like, what in the world? So basically this brings up the idea of, you know, what is considered baby daddy duty. So for example, basically what ends up happening is that she pops up to his house, which, like I said, like, y'all gotta understand, once you're not in a relationship with somebody, you just can't be popping up to their house no more. I mean, actually, don't do that ever. Okay, but maybe she pops up to his house, and then Portia comes outside, pops up to Ian's house, and then Portia comes outside, and she's just like, hey, I wanted you to taste that, because she tastes something, because she's a pastry chef. I was like, now, you know, you're just marking territory. I see you, Logan Browning. I see you, girl. Anyways, but she comes out and says, oh, when you guys are done. So basically she starts talking to him, and she's like, hey, I have, you know, money issue, you know, what is considered baby daddy, what is considered baby daddy responsibilities. And so he lets it slip that him and Portia have 4 frozen embryos. Basically, this is more successful than freezing your eggs. Basically, imagine instead of freezing the peanut butter, you freeze the jelly along with it. It has a better chance of becoming a sandwich one day compared to if you just freezing the peanut butter. Okay, we'll just do it as simple as that. So basically, they meet later on and have like an adult discussion about embryos, the embryos, and how Ian recognized that he was wrong for that. And then he also says as well, turns out after genetic testing finds out it's a girl, which I knew. I literally said girl before. I was like, why is it gonna be a girl? It's always a girl whenever these shows come out. But I know it's gonna be a girl. But my overall thing about it is just the fact that we need to understand, especially as women, like, this is why I always say, like, before you have a kid, I don't have any children, before you have a kid, have that kid for yourself. Because when it comes to men, like, you're rolling a die, and the die is 2-sided, and 2-sided is, one is good, one is bad. Okay, but definitely for sure, like, make sure you're having this kid for yourself. Like, not saying that you should not have that responsibility placed on the man, but more often than not, like, women, we become parents. I love this phrase, we become parents before we even meet this kid. For example, you're already sacrificing certain things, making sure you have certain money, making sure you're choosing the right person to mate with. You know, like, we essentially, like, women, we become parents way before men do. And I feel like with him just, you know, being nonchalant about, oh, okay, you know, I did have embryos frozen, blah, 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 but I do like the fact that he sent it to her, no problem, whatever. He said, oh, I got y'all, you know, and that's fine and dandy that you got us, but I need an ironclad, like, what is everybody doing? Who is going to be taking baby girl now in the night. Like, I really wish that they would like emphasize on that, but you know, it's just one episode. So we're gonna move on to Quinn. Quinn is friends with benefits with Kofi saraboe. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. But basically she's friends with benefits with him. And the only thing about it is that his old stylist, who was B. Simone, his old stylist ends up saying, oh, well, you know, this new Quinn Joseph is, she's trifling, she's not a girl's girl, she's acting light-skinned. And then Quinn adorably says, what is acting light-skinned? You know? So basically she ends up, you know, going on Instagram and basically denouncing him and saying, oh, he's not my designer anymore, like, I'm not gonna design with him, blah blah. And what did I have on here? So she wanted to squash the beef and basically be like, hey, I'm not with him anymore, I'm a girl's girl. And of course, you know, she ended up getting more clients. People be like, oh, she's a class act, blah blah, this, blah that. And my comments on that's pretty much what happens with her for the most part. And then Kofi comes in and he's like, oh, Seth comes in and he's like, oh, does that mean we're done? She's like, no, we're not done yet, but watch it, you know. But I've always liked Quinn's character. Like, she definitely, I can coincide with her, like when I was more innocent, you know, and didn't know how dark the world was. That was really emo, right? Oh, okay. But she definitely reminds me of like that, you know, that goody two-shoe girls who follow what her parents say, and then who follows what her parents say, and then turns out that life is way more complicated than following behind your parents. So I definitely coincide with that. With her and Seth, like, I don't like him for her. I know that sounds rude, but I don't like him for her at all. Like, there's something about him that does not give serious. It doesn't give serious. It doesn't give serious. It doesn't give that he really wants to, it doesn't give serious. It doesn't give that he really wants to just be like, he's what I call a lover boy. Basic, I can smell it off of him. Like, he likes the idea of chasing after a woman and having all these different emotions, but it's nothing to tie your head around. Like, he does not give me, I'm gonna be in it for the long haul. Another thing too is just that I feel like she's risking the challenge of truly finding someone who is going to make her put forth like an effort. Like him, I feel like he's not gonna push her to do anything because he's not serious. like I'm not trying to be mean, but like, he does not give serious to me. He does not give any of that. He's also a known celebrity, and like whenever I think of like, he's a known celebrity, and like I said, I told you, I think we did arithmetics one day, and I think I should do like a separate video about arithmetics, like how your guide to seeing how many people is after a possible person of interest. For example, he's a dark-skinned man and he's handsome. That's 20 women off of him already. No matter how tall he is, don't matter. That's already off rate. He's tall, 35. He has a lot of money, and we're at 70, 100. Like, literally, like, I really want to do a class on arithmetics one day, or basically the amount of people who would be interested in a soul person. Like, you got to think about, who are you going against? Who are you competing against? Another thing too is just that, to me, I wish it would have just been a one-night stand. Like, she's saying friends. I feel like there's no such thing as friends with benefits, me personally. Like, the only way, well, okay, I take that back. The only way you can have a friends with benefits is if this person does not have the qualities you want in a person. Okay, so let's say, for example, you're friends with benefits with someone who, like, I don't know, let's say they're an ex-con. Okay, you know, long-term earning potential is pretty limited there, but let's say it's an ex-con. As long as you strap up, as long as you put a jacket on, as long as you put a jacket on, you should be fine having a friend with, because you can never see this person as husband material. Vice versa, if you see a girl and she's, no offense, like let's say she's working one of those interesting jobs, okay, and you want your girl to have a certain image to her, you can go ahead and be friends with benefits with this person as long as you put a jacket on. A lot of kids are born from that. But as long as you know this person is like they have a couple of deal breakers that are like non-negotiable, yeah, you can. You know, you can move on. You can move on, and like there's no ending where the contract of the friend with benefits comes from as well. So I personally, I think you can do it. So I have on here too, the next one, Tye. So she is focusing on her vow of celibacy to fix her emotional baggage. She's mixing business with pleasure with, what is her name? Is it Eva? I don't know. Basically her coworker, she's mixing business with pleasure. Like, you know, like, she's trying not to go there with her, but, she was basically saying how, it was like her, I want to say it's Eva. Is it Eva? Okay. Basically, with Tye, like she was saying how like, oh, I don't want to mess your vow of celibacy up, but, it is cosmetic, because the main issue is that, come to find out, when Tye came out, because she's so strong in her, she's so strong in her sense of self. I didn't know the coming out story was this traumatic, but basically she never came out, and that was 10 years ago when she left Georgia. She never came out. She never told her parents or anything. So, because she knows that they wouldn't accept her, so she just left Georgia. She just never came back. So, you know, after breaking her vow of celibacy, since she realized that that's her real issue, was with her parents. Like I said, like your parents are so, they're so I'm gonna say they're 100% responsible for how you see the world, but when it comes to kids, a lot of people don't understand that, like, they are very impressionable, and like there's some stuff that people follow them right into adulthood. Like you can tell certain people, like, if they don't take criticism well, that means their parents were horrendous to them. You know, if they don't take compliments well, it's because their parents never complimented them. So for her to come out, like, why they're in like an art museum, and like she was like, yeah, so you know, like my coming out story was that. And then so it shows at the end of it, it shows that she's considering going to Georgia to like, it showed up like her looking at like a flight to go from New York to Georgia to possibly reconnect with her family, to try to see if she wants to, you know, just move from there. I feel like my thoughts on it, I feel like Tye doesn't need to be with anybody. I'm sorry, like, I mean, I'm such a meanie. They're like, dang, well, you don't want nobody on the show together, dang. But I don't want her with anybody just yet. I feel like she has to get through that breakthrough with her family, sit in that, and then go and try to date somebody else. I feel like with Eva, I feel like, you know, she's starting to feel her heavy, you know, have conversations with her, not kick her out in the morning as she usually does. But like, I don't want her with anybody right now. I don't, because I feel like, to me, I feel like it's similar to, okay, perfect example. So I've donated over 2 gallons of blood. I feel like I should, you know, have O positive blood. So I got pricked wrong on accident on my right arm, to where like I didn't let it heal in time. So that scar tissue from when I got pricked, the needle went the wrong way. It says it's worse than what I'm describing it. So the needle went the wrong way, and basically that scar tissue that's there, because I went back and I was like, okay, you know, I healed, blah, 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 blah. I went back, tried to donate it. It was excruciating. The next time I tried to donate, like 3 months later, it was excruciating. And the reason why is that scar tissue from that time when I got pricked incorrectly, that's still there. So I feel like in that same metaphor, I feel like with Tye, I feel like because she doesn't realize, because no one's pricked that arm in a while, basically no one's talked to her about her family in a while, she doesn't realize what type of fallout was going to happen. So she could easily go to her family and then have a full-on crash out and then take that on Eva. I personally feel like her and Eva should just stick to business for now. And then once she's done with her family, then try to reconnect and build that friendship into a relationship again. Because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like once you go towards, once you start going and uncovering the past, you don't know what your body's going to do. Like, there are some things that even as an adult, because your body saves it, your brain saves it, you know, your brain saves your trauma. There's even certain things as an adult that I'm just like, wait, that still bothers me. I didn't know that because I haven't addressed that in a while, you know. But so I think personally, she shouldn't be with anybody. Also, whoever her makeup artist is, step to the front because her makeup's always flawless. Okay, so Angie and Mike are looking for wedding venues because she's extra. So they're looking for wedding venues. So they fall into the Cipriani. Is it Cibrani? Cibrani? Either way, I was like, either way, it's a pretty much over the top venue. It's a known venue, where a lot of celebrities get married at or whatever. Me personally, it doesn't even look like a venue. It doesn't look like a venue. It looks more like a theater. Like it doesn't look like a venue. It looks like a theater. I don't know, child. Anyways, but so basically what ends up happening with that is the fact that what ends up happening with that is just that he's not that. He's like, they're complete opposites. Like, she's more extroverted, he's more introverted, he wants to chill. So he's like, I don't want this big wedding, you know, like, I don't want this big wedding. And she's just like, are you sure? I really like this for me, blah, blah, blah. So, right. So basically what happens is, oh, excuse me. So basically what happens is that she gets a phone call from what we consider the realtor. Anyways, the person who's selling the place for the wedding. And so she gets a phone call from her and she's like, hey, I have another couple in here who wants to buy it. It has to be right now or never. And she's like, okay, I need a card on file, right? Come to find out, the deposit is $50,000. 50,000. $50,000. I can visit Asia, like go to every country. Annyeonghaseyo, ni hao, konnichiwa. We in here, okay? Like I can go to every Asian country in the Maldives and come back and still have more money left over. $50,000 is a deposit. Anyways, so basically, Mike comes home and he realizes that there's a charge on his account. There's a charge on his account. So he's like, oh, I'm disappointed that you didn't want to compromise. Because she's like, what is compromise? I don't know what that means. And she's such a diva. She's like, I don't know what compromise is. And so afterwards, like he opens up. He's like, hey, actually, like the reason why I don't want to have a big wedding is because I don't want to see it where they show the bride side and you have all these people and they show the groom side. They have nothing because apparently he is allegedly, I don't know. He's actually estranged from his family. I guess we don't know the whole story, but he's estranged from his family and he knows that if he has a wedding, no one will show up. And I was like, dang, that's like really heartbreaking. Like, I was like, dang. So, basically she was like, oh, well, you know, I guess we don't know as much as we know about each other. And she's like, oh, I'll compromise and we'll get another wedding venue. We'll get another wedding venue and I'll try to dispute the charges. Cause he was like, usually when they charge $50,000 is non-negotiable, it's non-returnable, non-refundable. It's like, and I'll dispute the charges. And he just kind of smiles to himself and he's like, oh, he kind of smiles to himself and he's like, oh, well, you know, well, I guess, yeah, we're getting married, you know? So like, I thought that was really cute. I would say this is the one couple out of the four. I actually like them together. I like them one together. I feel like Angie's gonna pull Mike out of his introvertedness and then like he's gonna put a lasso on her extraness. So I like them. You know, they said opposites attract. I say opposites attract. So I think, me personally, I think they're really cute. They're really sweet together. I can tell that there's certain things about her that he doesn't understand, you know, but I feel like he's in it for the long haul because there's certain things about him that she, you know, doesn't understand as well. But my overall with them, the only thing that I'm nervous about is that I'm afraid that a prenup is going to be introduced. And as it should, you know, like this man got $50,000 charged on his credit card and he's mad that you did it and not mad that the money's not there, because if you charge $500 to my card, it's gonna bounce. Okay, bounce with it. Like it's gonna bounce. Like it's going to bounce. So I can definitely say like I really like them together. The only thing is just that I'm afraid that his family's gonna come out the woodworks and be like, well, I don't know if they ever said he came from money or if he's like self-made, but I can see them coming out the woodworks being like, well, who is this girl who, you know, your taxes makes more money than she makes, you know, the salary, you know, because he has money. I want to see them in the next couple episodes. I want to see more of them. Like, I feel like it's the Camille and Ian show. I said that before, but don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire Haire, and then we are going to be talking about episode 4 tonight.